My YouTube friends, and hi from Kentucky, the Mammoth Cave. We're going to take a few tours of the Mammoth Cave today. This is the model. Let's look at some interesting facts about the cave. Some of the tours, for example, this one is the historic entrance tour. It's interesting that in these darkness a lot of live creatures live. Other interesting facts about the Mammoth Cave.
Mapping and exploration will not be explored again for another 2,000 years.
The Mammoth Cave is famous around the world. Sorry for the light. Again, the map of the cave and the Green River. Here at Shelter B, we are waiting for our first tour, the Frozen Niagara Mammoth Cave tour. Here at the cave they offer a lot of tours. Here are some of them. We now came to the entrance of our Frozen Niagara cave. We are already inside the cave. This is called the colonnade.
Watch your head, ma'am.
One of the most interesting room, the Frozen Niagara room.
It was the lower that was the prettiest, right?
The Frozen Niagara from the above.
Yeah, we went all the way down.
Again, the colonnade. Very deep down. And then we are going up, and there is a dome, enormous dome.
Wavy design up here in this rimstone dam. This is flowstone, just like we saw with that frozen Niagara. And if you guys will remember us talking about how this is always changing and one day this won't be here, we can actually see 26 miles to Mammoth Cave. But they're not going to officially update that number until it's much more. People in this group that remember Mammoth Cave being 200 miles or less. That
So
exploration
beautiful.
is constant. What was your question?
Yeah, when did they find this part? Okay.
This was in the 1920s. That very naturally occurring steel door.
I'm not. I don't know what I saw. There's a whole bunch up here.
Through this passage we are going back.
Whatever you wanted to
caves were discovered around 5,000 years ago, but they rediscovered in modern times the caves in early 19th century. We are starting our second tour, and we are 260 feet deep in the ground.
That's 1969 or something else. Something else. So it's 1869. So they were already over here had been for, food. They negotiated out of the snowball room, so we haven't served food down here since then. But yeah, this was in operation for quite some time. That's why the elevator was put in. It was to be able to service the food service here. So there was
It used to be food service here many years ago.
Picnic lunch laid out for you. You could eat in the cave. And they kind of carried on that tradition once it became a national park. 1930s, they created what we call the snowball dining room.
This passage is called the Maryland Avenue, and we are going to Cleveland Avenue now.
Stephen Bishop, he was the first slave guy here.
Snowball room.
Brought in when a new owner came about in 1838. He brought Stephen with him and put him to work guiding cave tours. And of course, he didn't have any choice in the matter. But by the visitor accounts, he was.
This part of the cave is the driest.
Water hasn't touched this passageway.
The water touched those stones very long ago, a million years ago. Very dry place. We are now walking along the Cleveland Avenue.
I've never been in, but I've seen maps and such of it. But I've been under it. It's kind of neat. We get trips, and then we have a lot of folks that come here and do not just the research, but for it to even exist. And then you have to have the right mixture of stuff in the rock layers beyond for it to form in the first place. So you get long sections of Mammoth Cave where you don't see any gypsum. This passage we're in, we're only going a short distance, but it's about a mile long, and it's coated from an entire mile in this formation. When they got in here in the 1840s and they found this stuff, it's a little dirty today from the soot from lanterns and stuff. That kind of, and you'll see some on this little flat surface.
Gypsum flowers.
Kind of in the shadow. Really nice gypsum there.
The whole part of this cave is called dormant because it's not changing. It's frozen in time.
Just a little belly crawl for, I'd say 40, 50 yards. Kind of on your belly, wiggling your way through.
Those are crawl spaces.
It's named after a guy. So this is a replica of what they would have had in the 1800s. It's not quite exactly the same. It burns a much cleaner oil than what they would have had. They used what was called lard oil, which is very cheap, very inexpensive to make. Would have created a lot of smoke and a lot of soot, much like grease and lard from getting after it. It's like, Amber, you got anything harder? You got anything harder? And she goes, well, I know of this place. Over rocks and stuff, but every once in a while they'd stop, walk around. When they got up into this passageway, they would have had a long time to let their eyes adjust to this type of lighting. They would have been in the cave already 4 or 5 hours probably by the time they hit Cleveland Avenue. So they would have seen a whole lot more than what we're seeing right now. Snowball dining room decided they needed water for that food service. So they began to drill down into the cave. Well, in the process of drilling down, they realized they hit a void above the cave, and that void had water in it. It was like a perched aquifer above this passageway. So what they ended up doing is they actually drilled through it and put a pipe in, and there was a gentleman that came here and heard about this upside down well in Mammoth Cave. 3 miles beyond this room, about 1,500 stairs beyond.
More trails are there. Another 3 miles.
Big.
The very famous Stephen Bishop map of the caves.
That's all the locations.